Alright, so happy Labor Day. I'll give you a quick update of our vegetable garden, what we got going on. Give a quick thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my YouTube channel. I'm amazed how many subscribers we have, over 1,100 now. So thank you. Keep on commenting and liking our videos. It's what keeps us making more. I enjoy watching everybody else's videos, also learning a lot and learning as we go. I'm not an expert on everything in the gardening world, but just learn with us and see how our successes and failures go. So let's check out what we got behind me here. Here's a quick full screen view, as much as I can get it into the view here, of the overall garden. But we're getting some beneficial rain today, not very much, but it's cooled down. It's been well over 100 degrees the past few days now. Not very good for getting a fall garden started, but over here, as you can see, we still have a lot of peppers still making on the vine. We've got some lettuce here planted recently, and this is over here. We have some cabbage. This is the Wakefield, I believe, cabbage. Some broccoli. These are all Brussels sprouts here, and some more cabbage in the front. Over here, we'll come around this side. Our basil is still doing great. It's actually going to seed. You can actually save these seeds here on them if we want. Over here, this is our Swiss chard. This has actually been in the ground since, well, I have to look back and see, but I believe before December. And this is September now, but this has been growing. It just survived all summer and it's still making. We've been just eating off this like crazy. Over here are tomatoes. We planted these back in June for a fall tomato harvest. Obviously it's way too warm here to be producing any tomatoes on the vines. They say that it has to be I guess below 90 degrees to start setting fruit. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that it cools down eventually. As you can see, they do have flowers on them, but these will not set any fruit because it is way too hot. So we'll have to wait for it to cool down. And over here, we planted this where we planted our sorrel here, and up above it is our okra that we may have planted a little bit too late, but I always like to trial and test out things in the vegetable garden to see how it works. Over here we got all of our different green beans. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different varieties here, so they're coming along nicely. Hopefully in maybe 2 to 3 more weeks they should be making beans on there. Get a lot of questions about pests in the garden. Let me give you a little closer view so you can see. Yes, we do have pest problems in our garden. There you go. What do I do to avert pests? Nothing. We don't really do any kind of pest control in our vegetable garden. Some people do. There's a lot of synthetic chemicals you can put on there. We're all organic, so we don't do that. You could go out and hand pick all your pests, but I don't have time for that either. So I just let nature do its thing out here. There's good beneficial insects out here, as well as the problem insects. And I find overall it balances itself out. As you can see over here, we had quite a bit of problem on this side with squash bugs and whatnot, but for whatever reason I've done nothing, and the squash and the pumpkins are just spreading and growing like crazy right now. So we don't do much for pest control here. I'll back up here and show you one pest we do have. A little bit bigger problem I'm gonna have to get some fencing for. Here's some squash. Some pests ate this, but this was only due to our chickens. So we're going to put a little bit of fence along the front of here to fence them out, because I don't have this area fenced at all. As you can see, I've had this fence in around a while, mainly to keep out chickens. Before we had built our fence around the backyard, we have a big rabbit problem, and they will most definitely mow down all your vegetables. So let's just come around this side here. The tomatoes. Back here is our asparagus. We're just letting it chill out. Probably in a few more months we'll cut it back in the winter time. See, right now a little bit above 80 degrees, very humid. It's been raining, so we'll just cut the asparagus back later on once it gets winter time, and it'll start making. But I'll come over here. This is our blackberries. They're just being overrun by this pumpkin vine. As you can see here, some nice flowers blooming on it. And then if you look over here, it's still making pumpkins. There's a small little one growing, and they're just covering this blackberry plant, but we're just gonna leave it alone. I find most people, I've been talking to a lot of people here locally and have vegetable gardens, they try to do too much to their vegetable garden. Just leave your garden alone and let it do its thing. The less you mess with it, I find the more success we have. So that's my tip on that. Over here, still waiting for this one pumpkin to be fully ripened. As you can see, it's quite large. Just not ready, not yet. A little bit more to go. As you can see over here, these pumpkins, and we got some butternut squash out here too somewhere. They're just running wild. I've been wanting to clean this area out and put a cover crop for the winter, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough time to do that by the time all this stuff gets done producing, so that may have to wait for a little bit longer. One video, one thing I want to mention is I've been watching a lot about this back to Eden gardening. Some people call it sustainable permaculture, or maybe lasagna landscaping. There's a lot of different names for it. Pretty much the gist of it is, what I get is they don't till, it's a no-till garden, and they just layer mulch and mulch and mulch. So that is what our plan is for this area of our garden next year. I've got a place that I found I can get some free mulch, landscape tree service company. They put it out all the time. I've always seen it, but I think we're going to try it out in this bed next year, so stay tuned on that. We'll do a comparison between that bed and our traditional bed, how I've always grown up doing it, tilling in the amendments and planting. Of course, there's a lot of different ways to garden. Everybody has a different way. No way is the right or wrong way, but as long as you get some successful produce out of it, I say that's a good thing. Come over this way. I don't really want to walk in the garden. It's kind of muddy up there, but come in closer. Look at this here. This is the Tomatillo plant that we planted a while back, and this thing is just spread. This is just one plant, and it has just spread out everywhere here, and hopefully we'll be getting some tomatillos pretty soon. There's quite a bit of flowering on it, so we'll see what happens with that. Here's a little bit closer view of the tomatillo plant here. It's quite large. Over here I got a eggplant making. Here's one eggplant growing on the vine. Maybe ready to pick, actually. It's hard to tell on eggplants. We got the pepper plants just growing like crazy over here. Let's see here. I think I picked most of them off. Jalapeno Got a banana pepper. I believe this is the habanero plant here. Oh yeah, here's some habanero there growing. So this plant is pretty huge. There's another pepper plant. There's several pepper plants we got in here. They're looking really well. They got a lot of flowers on them, so we should be getting a lot more peppers. Come over here on this vine, you can see we do have butternut squash still making. There's a few more in here somewhere over this doorway and fence. I decided just not to touch it or mess with it and just let it grow. I've been trying to keep it out of the main garden bed because this stuff just spreads like crazy. So if you ever grow any pumpkins, watermelon, butternut squashes, make sure you have plenty of space for them. Here's a look at our chickens nibbling away at my garden here. I'm not too concerned about over on that side. It's all but done, so I'll just let them have a feast. We do have some weed control problems over here, as you can see on this side of the bed. I have a lot of Bermuda grass problem in this corner of the garden, so I'll be working to get that cleaned out in the fall, winter time. But this weed fabric has really helped us a lot this year. It's a lot easier to keep it weeded, and especially in the summertime when you just don't want to be working out in 100+ degrees. That was a big benefit and success with the weed fabric this year. So I highly recommend doing that. As you can see, this garden here is just way too big for me to most definitely be buying mulch, let alone finding mulch for free for this much area. I don't know where I can necessarily find that much free mulch, but we're gonna do the back to Eden method over here in this side of the vegetable garden next year. So there's just a quick update of our garden growing here. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll have some successful harvests here in the near future with our beans. One more thing I forgot to mention today, go check out Baker Creek Seeds, rareseeds.com. They have 50% off select seeds now through September 6th. So I only have a few more days to go check it out on selected seeds, not all of them. I made a small order the other day, so go check out Baker Creek Seeds. If you watch this far, congratulations. Sorry for the long video. Also, one more thing, the back to Eden method, stay tuned to see how we're gonna incorporate that into our vegetable garden. Thanks for watching.